What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on this situation that's going on with LeBron James, not just LeBron James, but Stephen A. Smith. And I just want to make like a connection between what's going on with LeBron James and and also how Kwame Brown, in my opinion, Kwame Brown went through the same thing with Stephen A. Smith. So, as you know, lately, Stephen A. Smith has been making his rounds going on different platforms, talking about his relationship and how he feels about LeBron James. And so, in watching, everything that Stephen A. Smith is doing and watching everything that and listening to everything that he's saying, just reminds me of Stephen A. Smith when he was basically doing the same thing from the ESPN platform. He did the same thing to Kwame Brown. He said a lot of disparaging things about Kwame Brown. Now, and the one difference between that though is I don't think I don't think Kwame Brown really did anything to Stephen A. Smith. So I don't know why Stephen A. Smith at that time was going after Kwame Brown. Well, some people say it was because of Kwame seems to think that it was because of the fact that I think he went directly to the NBA, and some people, and at that time, I think colleges wanted some kind of way they wanted to discourage most athletes from going directly to the NBA, right? And so they try to put it out there that this is what could happen to you. You could possibly be a bust, if you don't go to college and develop your game. I think that was part of it, right? But anyway, Stephen A. Smith for a long time, man, he used his platform on ESPN to call Kwame Brown a bust. He even went around to colleges and everything, you know, again doing the same thing. So that's and the fact that he toured and went to colleges and some high schools, I think that also is why people think that like there was a movement out to try to discourage kids from going directly to the NBA, like Kwame did, right? So, but it definitely Stephen A. Smith went, he was on Kwame for a long time. So now, fast forward to LeBron James, and you see the same thing. You see Stephen A. Smith going around to all these different platforms, telling people how he don't like LeBron James, talking about the situation that went on with LeBron James when LeBron James, pulled him up at the basketball game, and he's continuing to harp on that. Really, I haven't heard LeBron James is not really he hasn't really said anything about it publicly. I think once LeBron James went on to the Pat McAfee show, I don't think LeBron James has said anything else about that incident, or I don't think publicly he has said anything else about Stephen A. Smith. But Stephen A. Smith, he keeps bringing LeBron James up, and he says he's only bringing it up because people are asking him, right? Which, in my opinion, if somebody asks you a question, that don't mean that you necessarily have to answer it. Stephen A. Smith was recently on he was on Carmelo Anthony's podcast, and you know, the guy who was interviewing him asked him, did LeBron James try to get him fired? And so he declined to answer that question. He said, I'm not even going to speak on it. So if you didn't want to speak on that question, then you could, he could have chosen not to speak on anything concerning LeBron James. And if you don't like LeBron James, then, and you don't have an axe to grind against LeBron James, and there's not a campaign to bring LeBron James and bring him down and destroy him, then why even talk about LeBron James? Like, y'all had y'all running, you don't like him, he don't like you, and it's over with. But it's obvious right now that, in my opinion, like somebody is trying to send LeBron James a message, and right now it's just LeBron James's turn. He's, and, like I said, LeBron James hadn't really said anything about it. And one thing I know that this right here is like a demonstration or is an example of once mainstream media or people with power and influence have it in for you, they're definitely going to like control the narrative. I know people think that, well, with social media and all these different platforms that you can fight back, like you can fight back against mainstream media and these big companies. But I don't think that's the case. I think that they will still be able to control the narrative. And this situation right here is a as an example of that, right? LeBron James, he has clout and has power too. But once you're not in favor, like once you fall out of favor with one of these big media outlets or somebody in the media like this, they still can pretty much control the narrative and pretty much make you look like you're the villain. And that's a demonstration of that now. So I don't think that people should be fooled and think, well, it's a new day and it's a new age. We now have social media and I can put my own story out there. Like your story can be suppressed in ways that you probably not even aware of. With this algorithm and stuff like that, they can control the algorithm, number one. And then on top of that, number two, they can make it so, they can discourage other platforms from really putting your message out there. So now LeBron, if LeBron James wanted to, he wanted to just discuss this topic on his show, he could do that. But then again, it would that message, if they didn't want it out there, it would be suppressed. So the fact that people have access to different platforms, or you can set up your own platform and put messages out there, is not, don't mean that you will have a lot of control, especially like I said, if you're going up against a media giant like ESPN. They'll definitely control the narrative. Stephen A. Smith has the upper hand in this situation, and then on top of that, I just want to know, like, what is the play, like what is the purpose of all this? Going at LeBron James on all of these, doing this tour to go after LeBron James. Stephen A. Smith said he didn't like LeBron James, and it's been like that for years. So now, LeBron James is at the end of his career. And so, out of respect for, what LeBron James has meant to the NBA, out of respect for his career, um, and even out of respect for LeBron James's family, like his family and his legacy. Like, if you have held on to this grudge for all these years and y'all had an argument, why now? That's why it just makes me seem like there's a motive to really to bring LeBron down and destroy LeBron. You never had the, like he never did this in all the years that LeBron James has been in the league. And I know he kind of alluded to um LeBron James trying to have him removed from ESPN, right? But still, he could have addressed that back when it happened. I don't know how long ago it happened. And if he don't want to talk about it now, then why not just let it go? So there is in my opinion, I think there's a bigger, like there's a larger motive to this, as far as like it's all connected. And I'm not even a fan of LeBron James. I'm not, definitely not a fan of Stephen A. Smith, but I'm just looking at this situation and saying, like, what is the play here? Like, what's the purpose of going after LeBron James like this? Especially, like I said, in the twilight of his career, and out of respect for basketball, you know, and Stephen A. Smith he said something right. He said that he respects LeBron James's wife. He respect his kids and his family and stuff like that. But if you do, and if that's true, then why go around on this tour and say all of these disparaging things about LeBron James when LeBron James is not saying anything about Stephen A. Smith. You know, Stephen A. Smith, man, this guy will do you dirty. He definitely will do you dirty. So I don't really have a dog in the fight. I just like to watch these situations and try to figure out why, why this thing is going on. And then also, you know, I think everybody should be watching these type of situations because it gives you an insight into like how people move, how people operate, and I don't really, and it's not that I even feel bad or sorry for LeBron James because this is a game that LeBron James, in my opinion, he's good at playing this game too. I know there's probably been some situations where LeBron James has had the opportunity to, to have an effect on somebody's career, somebody, in the way stuff happens. So, I mean, it's the game you play. It comes with the territory. So, yeah, this is something that I think I want to keep my eye on because, like I said, I want to see what's going to be the end result. I want to see how far ESPN, and I don't think it's just ESPN. I just want to see how far they want to go. They're going to go to make LeBron James be, look bad. So that's my take on it. But I do want your opinion. Let me know, like, what do you think, like the end purpose is for going at LeBron James like this, to try to bring LeBron James down, his image and everything. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.